Hi, I'm Stacie Burrows.
Hi, I'm Shannon Noel, and you're entering A World Gone Good.
You're gonna cook that fucking turkey like you've never cooked before. You're gonna travel to a state where you don't live anymore. You're gonna sit down at their table and look them in the eye. You're gonna keep your fucking mouth shut while you eat their apple pie. Their apple pie, their apple pie. Don't get more American than good old apple pie. And diversity. You're gonna look around your childhood home and wonder how y'all got here. You're gonna see that family Bible underneath that big old deer. You're gonna look that dead deer in the eye and ask if he can see this blessed cornucopia of our hypocrisy.
Well, hello, my name's Steve, and this is World Gone Good, the podcast where we shine the light into the darkness. Or maybe we find the light in the darkness and prove that there is still good out there, and there's lots of it. If you think that this podcast is good, please, by all means, share it with your friends. Subscribe wherever you are presently listening to right now. Heck, go on and rate and review us. The more you do, the more good we can spread, and for that, we say thank you. So, Mother's Day 2021 is almost upon us, dun, 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 dun. And depending on when you listen to this, it may be happening at this very moment or already happened, so it still counts. Today on our brand new episode, we celebrate moms everywhere, and though you may say that I am not qualified to host because I don't have any children of my own, you rest assured, I've been called a mother on more than one occasion, by more than one person, multiple people, multiple times. So we are good to go, people. Okay, what happens when two singer, songwriter, actor, comedian, performer moms meet quite by accident? They accept their fate, and Wonder Moms activate. They form their own band and brand known, quite frankly, as Mommy Tonk. This is Stacie Burrows and Shannon Noel's good story. And we're going to begin with it by letting you listen to a few of their original songs. You already heard one to open the show. So here, slide into this one and let's see what you think.
Gotta go to Target, 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 Target, here we come. Here we go! Gotta get some soap, gotta get a lamp, gotta get a brush and toothpaste too, gotta get a mug, gotta get a frame, gotta get a... Whoa! What is it? Girl, do you see that shirt over there? You love shirts! Put it in the cart! Gotta go to Target, 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 Target, here we come. Gotta get Clorox, gotta get wipes, gotta get a towel and a washcloth too. Gotta get Band-Aids, gotta get a rug, gotta get a... Girl, did you know they sell wine at Target?
When did they start selling wine at Target?
We love wine! Put it in the cart, put it in the cart, put it in the cart, put it in the cart. We'll sneak it in the house, we'll hide it in the closet.
Ah, dang it.
What is it?
I totally forgot toilet paper.
Stacie, that is the whole reason we came.
Well, you know what that means.
Gotta go to Target, 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 gotta go to Target. Target, here we come. Bullseye.
I have two incredibly talented women who have accomplished two amazing things. They birthed children, which allowed them to sing music about it. So let's start with a very wide question and then narrow our way in. What is good about being a mommy?
Well, this is the wrong day to ask that question. But I'm just kidding.
I'm kidding.
Oh.
Oh, it's so rewarding.
Well, the material, Stace.
No, listen. Hey,
It's great. It's great.
it's fantastic. You make little people. They look like you, sort of. They act like you a lot, which can be great and also can also be not great. I'm kidding. No, it's rewarding, man. Come on. It's great. You make little people and then you find out when they're about, they get a little bit older and they start saying really like they're funny. Like my people are funny. In my house, it's a funny place because you see their senses of humor and you're like, oh yeah, you're my kid. Yeah, I would say that. It's kind of neat. So it's just, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm a complete narcissist. I like them because they remind me of me.
It is. It is rewarding. It's so much fun. Like it's something I wasn't a kid who was like, I'm going to have babies. Like I just never really thought about it. It wasn't something I was dreaming about. Like one day I'll have kids. And then it just happened. And I can't believe how much fun it is. Definitely challenging and all the things we sing about. And thank God we have this band where we can sing about it because otherwise where does all the drama go? And I don't know. We feel really lucky.
The answer to that question is a padded cell.
Exactly.
Cell.
Because it's challenging and it takes you to places you never thought you'd go. And you're saying things that you only thought your mother or your dad said. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm just like my mom or my dad. And that's me saying that. And it gives you an opportunity also to do those things differently, maybe that your parents did that maybe you would do differently.
So let me ask you this. How and where did you guys meet?
The year was, I don't know, it was probably about 11 years ago. I was a new mom. I had a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. And I heard about this show called Expressing Motherhood. And Steve, I had just done 15 minutes of Femme with you guys. And I had written this material about the Gymboree. And I was like, oh, I haven't done stand-up in a long time since I had my kids. And I need an outlet and I would love to do some comedy, some mom related comedy. And I had my Gymboree stuff and I had stuff that I had written based on this crunchy granola preschool that my kids were attending. And I submitted it to the woman who was curating the show. And she's like, we don't do stand up here. And she's like, that's not the kind of story. It's a storytelling show. It's not a comedy show. And I was like, that's all right. Let me just tell them like their stories and just please take a chance on me because I really want to do this show. And if you have a room full of moms, I promise you, I won't disappoint you. They'll find me funny. I promise. Just trust me. And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, dude, are you kidding me? Can you just trust that I can like handle like 5 minutes? Anyway. And so she said, okay, begrudgingly. And of course, we're now like best friends with her. And I meet Shannon and Shannon goes to this rehearsal. Half the stories are really sad, and half the stories are not. But the ones that were super sad, like left me like bawling at rehearsal. I'm like, oh my God, what have I signed up for? And then Shannon steps on stage after this woman has talked about losing like all of her children. And I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? Shannon steps on stage wearing a breast pump and pajama pants and then just delivers this comedy monologue that I'm still in awe of what I saw, but really what I heard that day because it was so perfect. And I'm like, oh my God, this woman is going to think I'm weird, but like, we're going to be best friends. And she's just going to have to come around to that idea. I'm going to have to she's going to have to begrudgingly accept me just like Lindsay did. So Shannon, what happened? What happened next?
Okay, so then I come off stage, or I don't remember which one of us went first, honestly, but the minute Stacie walks on stage, she's carrying this baby monitor, and she proceeds to do part of her Gymboree act, which basically is like, I hope that I can hear the kids and the babysitter with this baby monitor, because the baby monitor is the babysitter. Anyway, it was hysterical. I had a baby in my belly, and I had a 1-year-old, so I was in the throes of it and just losing my mind. And Stacie comes on stage and does this stand-up set in a storytelling fashion because that's what Lindsay wanted. And she had me in stitches and feeling like, oh my God, I'm not alone in this world. Who is this woman? And can she mentor me for the rest of my life?
No.
Can we be comedy soul sisters? We didn't even realize it. We went backstage. there were like 3 bottles of wine that someone else had opened, and we quickly took them to the corner and drank them all. And Stacie did not mind me sitting there hold on, my dog is going crazy. Hey, it's okay, Peanut.
I thought it was one of the children. I was worried there for a minute.
These are our furry children. We have our fur children.
And it was great. I mean, backstage, we just got to know each other quickly over 3 bottles of wine, and we were cracking each other up. I think a week after the run of the show, my firstborn, who just turned 12 yesterday, by the way, my firstborn was turning 1 year old. So yeah, this has been 11 years, Stace. I was having his first birthday party, which in the world of motherhood is a big deal, or we make it such a big deal. And my mom was coming out from Kentucky, and I was like, hey mom, I know this is weird, but I met this woman, Stacie, doing the show. And I really love her. And I really just want to get to know her better. Would it be weird if I invited her to book her, my son's first birthday party? Like, is that weird? And she's like, no, just call her up. So I paged or texted Stacie, and I was like, hey, do you want to come to this party? It's my kid's first. It's at some playground. And she's like, yes, will there be alcohol? What time should I be there? And I was like, perfect. We are a match made in heaven. And I'm so glad that I found that show. And then I found Stacie. So
yeah. So then shortly after that awesome birthday party at the Little Red Barn in downtown LA, I was given an opportunity to perform at this charity event, and they said, how much material, they said, can you do it? And I said, yes. How much time do you want me to do? And they said, can you do an hour? And I was like, well, yeah,
oh, Jesus.
Of course I can.
Oh my God. You are ridiculous.
But I hung up the phone and I go, uh-oh, Desmond, I think I've gotten myself into a little bit of a problem. And he said, why? How much time did they want you to do? I said, an hour. He said, how much do you have? I said, 20 minutes if I talk really slowly. And so I was like, hold on, I've got an idea. So I call up Shannon and I was like, hey, new friend, do you mind sharing this bill with me? Because I can't fill an hour, but I know that the two of us could totally fill an hour. And so she said yes. And we did this show where we had one wireless mic that we got to wear. And that's all they gave us was one mic. And so we were never on stage together. I would come up and do some stand-up. Shannon would come up and do a monologue. We'd run backstage. I would put the mic on. Shannon would put her breast pump on because she was literally like pumping for her newborn baby. And I was like, it was hilarious. It was a riot. The whole night was a huge success. It's probably the biggest audience we ever had. We'd never even done this material before, but we were like, okay, we gotta work together. So then we kind of just made that show. We called it I'm Not From Here, But My Kids Are, a story about 2 Southern women raising their kids in LA, right? And then in that song, I did a little bit of like a cappella singing. And then after the run of that show, Shannon's like, I sing too. And I'm like, you do? And she's like, yeah, I kind of play guitar. And I was like, well, I kind of play piano. And so then you start a band. That's what happens next. You start a band.
Well, of course.
So we did.
And then you get a school bus and paint it multiple colors and drive around the country.
Yes. That is our next plan.
Well, it's called an Airstream.
Oh, an Airstream. Oh, we're fancy now. Now, you two, you get together. What was the first song together that came out of all this?
Well, we started with 2 songs. One was Shannon's love song for her husband. And mine was it Farm Box or was it my love song?
I think it was your love song for your husband. I can't remember.
First time we ever sang together was Shannon's love song for her husband, which basically says, get off your ass, you fucking asshole, you motherfucking asshole. Your mother doesn't live here anymore. And they're the greatest lyrics of all time.
Get off your ass, you fucking asshole, you motherfucking asshole. Your mother doesn't live here anymore.
No, she don't.
Did you want a sticker for taking out the trash? Well, let me tell you what I did while you were on your ass. Did the dishes, pack the lunches, I wiped an ass or 2, calmed a baby and a toddler, I could stop but I'm not through.
Oh, she's barely getting started.
I folded all the laundry, picked the Legos off the floor, and then I scraped a cheese stick off the bathroom door. Please don't take this badly, I know you do your best. You're a single focused man and you need a lot of rest. Honey, remember your wife can multitask. I can cook a steak and mend a sock, all while I kick your ass.
That is the sound of a marriage getting stronger. And I was like, hey, do you mind if I hop on that and add some like harmonies and some oohs and ahs? And she's like, we were both kind of like not sure it would work, but we were in Chicago on an Expressing Motherhood show. And I was like, fuck it. There's only one way to know if it's going to work. I was like, you just give me a note. That's my special power. I can harmonize with anything. So I went out there and I was like, let's just give it a shot. And we knew it. Then it was like lightning. We were like, oh, we're married now.
And then we did it like with your song. I was playing guitar on your song, and we were out there on stage, and I was like, yeah, well, I'll just sing the chorus with you, and I'll just take the low line or whatever. And it just was magical that night. Yeah. It was so much fun.
It just worked. And it just was like, why did it take us so long to figure out that, yes, the two of us should be on stage together at the same time. And of course we should harmonize with each other. Like, the harmonies are so tight and so sweet, and the melodies are so sweet, but our lyrics are, of course, not sweet at all, which is how we get away with half of the shit we say, or sing, rather.
So this evolved into Mommy Tonk. So here's my question. Where did the name Mommy Tonk come from? How did you transition from the old name to the new name?
Well, so the old name was just us. Like, we would perform in Expressing Motherhood, the show that, where we met. It's a storytelling show, and the theme is always some form of motherhood. It's like The Moth, but it's called Expressing Motherhood. And so we would always perform as Stacie Burrows and Shannon Noel as individuals. And then we started singing together. We were still Shannon and Stacie. Then we got back to LA, and my neighbor is, as all neighbors in LA, is a composer for like a television show. So he has, right. So we're friends, and he has his own recording studio. And we were like, hey, we should record these first two songs and just lay them down somewhere. And we're like, yeah, maybe this guy will give us his name is Eben. And we're like, maybe he'll give us a deal. So we worked out a little deal with him, and we went to his studio, and he's a night owl, and he is meticulous and fantastic at what he does. And it was like 2 a.m. We'd been recording the song. Now, Stacie and I are both, in the newer stages of motherhood. And so we're exhausted, but also very glad to be out of the house and together. But at 2 a.m, we're like, Eben says, so what do you guys call yourself? And we're like, oh, we should probably, I don't know. And we just started riffing. We're like, well, we kind of play honky tonk music, and we're moms. And then I don't know which one of us said it, but all of a sudden we were like, honky tonk, Mommy Tonk. We're Mommy Tonk. We're like, okay, go online. Does anyone have this name? Look at all the GoDaddy. Type it in. We typed it in on our phones. It wasn't taken. We sat in that studio. We bought it for like $12 for the year that night. And the next day we made business cards. And I think the next day is when we had another show in Chicago or somewhere, and we announced that we were Mommy Tonk.
Isn't it amazing?
And then we changed like our Instagram. One of our Instagram pages became Mommy Tonk.
And then we made a light up sign. Like Elvis used to have his name lights.
Right.
And so we, of course, were like, well, now that we have 2 songs and a band,
right,
and an album with 2 songs on it, we were like, we should definitely have our name in lights. So I think my husband might have. We've had a lot of different incarnations of this light up sign, but we went and just got cheap lights and black poster board, and we made a huge sign that said Mommy Tonk, and it was the cutest thing, and it fell apart. It's fallen apart so many times, but it's in a dumpster now with our careers. But what we're saying is it was fun. It was just like, it really was. It was really therapy for us. We were just like, oh my God, I'm so stressed out about this. And Shannon was working at the Geffen Playhouse at the time, and her commute was hella long. And so she'd call me on her commute. And in the hour and 15 minutes it took her to get to her office, we would have vented about what was frustrating us. One of us would have said something really funny, and the other one's like, okay, that's something, write that down. Or we record it on our phones. And by the end of the day, I would like go up to the Geffen Playhouse and we'd write in the parking garage because that was our workspace. And we would have a song. And then we'd be like, well, I guess we got to shoot a video. And everything's just, iPhones and whatever we had on hand, a couple of plastic baby dolls. And
exactly.
We're like, yeah, I think we're really something now.
There's a big amount of magic there. I wanna jump back for 1 second, because what made me laugh, what you said about you chose a name and then you jumped on GoDaddy. I think that's every creative, because I know that's me all the time, where I'm like, oh my god, this is such a good. Oh, I'm working on something right now called Was. I'm like, ooh, Was is such a good title. Hell, let me IMDb. Has this ever been a movie? No, no one's ever known. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? And then you're all of us, and then you get on GoDaddy and you're like, all right, now I'm gonna get the .com. Oh God, should I get the .tv and the .org?
Yes.
Should I spend the extra $4.99? No. And then it keeps like, as you're trying to check out, it's like, are you sure you don't want to get it? Oh, come on.
Oh, come on. Do you want the embroidered jackets? You're like, well, yes, of course I want the embroidered jackets. I have a business now.
But that is what's amazing is, too, like anything, is we all collectively know in the creative world that we live in, so many people with great ideas who don't follow through on their great ideas. And you guys took quick action, almost like it is meant to be. And there has to be some magic to that.
For sure. I mean, and then like we could have never predicted what would happen next, but we just kind of like said, oh, well, we should book some shows and we should see if anybody would be interested. And, oh, we should hire a band. Shannon's greatest idea ever was to get a backing band, and they're the best. I mean, they're the best. They're 3 jazz musicians by trade, but they play Americana folk music for us, and they're so good. They can play anything. And they're called the Assless Chaps, and they're our friends, and they're really talented. Funny. They're funny. Now everybody's a dad. The youngest member of the band now has more children than all of us, which is really funny. But it's great. And we have a nice camaraderie. It's a great partnership. It's a great collaboration. And they make us look so good, because Shannon and I can barely play our instruments, but you'd never know that because we pay the guys to make us look like we are experts.
We play enough to write the songs and get us through, and we definitely have performed without them many times, and and it works. It totally works. But with them, oh my God, it's just a blast.
Where have you guys performed?
Okay.
No, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not, that was not like, I've never heard of you. Where have you performed? That's like, where have you performed?
We performed in bathrooms.
Yeah.
In alleys.
We have dumpsters, a lot of dumpsters. No. So at the very, very, very beginning, before we had a band, before we knew what the hell we were doing, we had maybe 4 songs. We always tend to book ourselves on things that we need more material for, but we're like, yeah, we can do that. We got asked to perform at the Stagecoach Country Music Festival, which is a family festival. And they thought, Mommy Tonk, you go in the kids' barn and you're going to sing music.
Oh my God.
And we're like,
they hired us to play in the kids' tent. They really did.
Yeah. Oh God. So anyway, that was fun, because we just basically censored ourselves. Every song that had like the F word, we just left it out.
It was so much fun. It was such a blast.
Great weekend. But we've done the House
and
of
an honor.
Comedy clubs. We did the Comedy Store. We got a standing ovation at the Comedy Store, by the way. The Comedy Store. It was insane. But that's what happens when you invite all of your theater friends and they're like, oh, huzzah. And you're like, oh, well, nobody really standing O's or huzzahs in a comedy club, but you can totally do that and we'll take it. But yeah, so our favorite place to perform in LA is the 3 clubs on Vine in Santa Monica. They, right before COVID, they did this complete remodel of the whole space. And it is so sexy. It is so gorgeous. It's perfect. And then, of course, we shut it down. We shut that. Oh, that's funny, Shannon. I'm just remembering.
We did shut it down.
Oh,
it was the last
it's us. We're the thing. So we have this running joke that every time we perform at a club and have a really good night, it shuts down the next day. I don't know what it is, but we used to do. What were the ones we did? We did
the House of Blues shut down like a week
House
after
of
we
Blues,
performed there in LA.
Farfalla on La Brea. I don't know what it was called when we did it.
Room 5. Room 5.
What was the one on Vine and Santa Monica? What was that?
Office.
What was that called? It was
God,
Cuban Place, and like Sagebrush Canteen is around the corner. Anyway, we shut that place down. I mean, we packed it. People were like. I mean, it was overflowing with people, and we did a night there, and then the next day it was like, yeah, we're closing our doors. And then the fucking COVID. We did it. Shannon, this is our fault because we had a good night at 3 clubs. Anyway, then we tour. So we do Zanies in Nashville. We do the Laughing Derby in Louisville, Kentucky. We've done churches in Texas. We've done, banquet halls in Harlingen.
Yeah, I mean, and this is like Steve, this is us like figuring out, okay, we want to go on a tour. How do we do this? We don't have a manager, we don't have an agent, we don't have anything except us. How are we going to do this? So we're like, let's figure it out. So the two of us were like, well, let's start with our home regions. Stacie's from Texas, I'm from Kentucky. Like, great, we'll do Austin, we'll do Houston, we'll do Harlingen. Did we do Dallas? Maybe?
I don't
know, not
yet.
Dallas, but not Dallas. We'll go to these places, and then we'll do Louisville, and we'll do Nashville, we'll do Atlanta, and that way we can drop our kids off at our families' houses, and we can tour for a few days or 4 days, come back and pick up our kids and visit visit the parents. And it just worked out. And by doing that, we would just call up the comedy clubs, make a relationship with them, say, hey, I'm from this town, we want to take the stage. And the first year was kind of difficult. We had to do a lot of pitching of ourselves, but then we sold out every house. And this is, again, just us
word of mouth,
on
social
Instagram,
media,
Facebook, emailing people, our friends. And then the next year we had a line, and we had friends of friends coming. And then the next year the line was even bigger. And so we just grew those audiences. And so we would go back. I think we've been on tour 3 or 4 times. Now I can't even remember. Or we'll do a one-off here and there if we have the chance to, or we can just fly into Houston and do it.
And here's what I'll say about touring with Shannon.
Oh God! What are you going to say? Careful.
Shannon is the activities director as well as tour manager. So when we did the Bourbon Trail tour, and so she basically, we took the band and we'd do a distillery tour in the morning, like mid-morning. We would go do a whiskey tasting. Then we'd finish our drive to whatever the next town was, and then just go take a quick shower, throw in some lipstick, load our gear in, do the show, and then it's hard work, but somebody's got to do it. And luckily our bandmates are great drinkers, and they're like fantastic. So it's always fun to tour with Shannon. Shannon has a lot of energy though. I get tired. So I'm always like, by the second or third night, I'm like, okay, y'all, I'm going to go to bed at 7:00. I'm going to go watch some PBS in the hotel with my glass of red wine. And they're like, okay,
we'll see you later.
I'm like, bye. Anyway, but yeah, it's super fun. We miss it a lot. We can't wait.
Yes.
And how has it changed now with the COVID world? Have you guys been performing online?
Okay, so we've done a Zoom show, which we resisted for a very long time. But in December, we were like, let's just see if we build it, if anyone will come. And they did. And, it was a really fun, it was very much a one-off show for the people that bought. The good thing about having a controlled amount of followers on your Instagram without going like, oh, we have 5 million followers. We don't. We have 2,000. But I will tell you, of those 2,000 people, those people know us. They're friends. They're friends of friends. They've been to a show. They've heard us on on Expressing Motherhood. So when we do a show on Zoom, it's literally like it's a reunion of our friends, And so we were able to kind of customize it for the people that we knew were watching, and it was a total hoot. It was a lot of work. Shannon transformed her living room into a television studio, and it was amazing. But oh my God, you would have to pay me a fucking $5 million to do that again, because it was
a challenge.
It was Shannon's. It wasn't even my house. I just rolled in with like a pair of boots, and I was like, "Oh, this is too much."
It was super fun. I mean, when you watch that show back, you're like, "Wow, that was awesome!" Like the fact that we just rolled with it. We didn't know what we were doing. My husband was here and kind of watching, making sure the lights were on us and the camera didn't shake. We hired one friend of ours who's a stage manager to come in with her mask on and sit.
Oh, you know Caitlin. Don't you know Caitlin? Do you know Caitlin Rucker? She works with Christina Wong. You know her, Steve.
Oh, I know her name. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's amazing. And she's a friend of ours. And she came into my house and sat with her mask at a table like 10 feet away from us and ran the Zoom and made sure all the sound was working. And it was so, I'm so proud of us for doing that. Like, I don't know. We just did it. We Googled and watched YouTube videos and figured out how to do it. And
Shannon's being generous when she says we. Okay, because she did that, and I was just like, what? I don't know how to plug things in.
You were back at the hotel drinking wine, watching PBS, and Shannon was doing all the work.
I was craft services, so I was ordering food. I'm like, I'm on Uber Eats. Y'all plug your shit in, and I will order some food for everybody.
That's the beauty of having a business where two moms are the CEOs, because we know how to delegate and make shit happen. We take our skills and we use them. That's what we do. We divide and conquer, and that's how we've made it happen. Now, would we love a manager and a stage manager and roadies and all? Of course. Oh my God, how amazing would that be? But we got it done, and we still get it done. We've also performed in other people's shows on Zoom during this time, and we've done that both together and individually, supporting each other. And during the times when the numbers are really up in LA, we perform separately from our own homes. And then when we feel a little safer and we've been tested or whatever, we get together and we'll try to perform live together from one of our houses. And we've written the entire time together. We've probably written 6 new songs at least, and done at least 3 or 4 videos. And I don't know. I'm just really, when I sit back and reflect on it, I'm really proud of us. Like, yeah. I love that this challenge has turned into a new creative process, and I cannot wait to be on stage in front of live people again with Stacie on stage. But we've made it work somehow.
Yeah, we're not going to stop. Like, we're not going to stop. That's the funny thing. We're just kind of like, look, the whole thing was bred out of frustration. I mean, we were 2 really tired moms who were frustrated about, mom things. And that's how the whole thing started. So here we have another set of challenges. And it's a global pandemic. Fuck that. We can work around a global pandemic. I'm not scared of your global pandemic. We've had children. As Shannon says in the show, one of my favorite lines of Shannon's is that she says, I've had 2 children. I'm a gladiator. Don't pet me. So, yeah, we don't care about challenges. We'll work around your shit. As long as we're alive. I guess if one of us died, then that would be really hard to work around.
Oh, Jesus,
although hologram Tonk.
Oh my God, Stacie.
Come on.
You guys can't even afford a sign. You're gonna have a hologram?
Oh, well, it'll be a DIY hologram that we look at YouTube tutorials.
Oh my God, yes.
It's like made with mirrors and sunglasses.
No, it's going to be made with popsicle sticks that your children will they'll be at your funeral weeping, but I'll be standing there going, eat this fudgicle, Jimmy. I need to get more.
Eat it for the hologram.
That's hilarious.
Eat it for the hologram.
For the hologram. There's like pipe cleaners. Oh my God.
So you just both landed on something that I really wanted to land on here to wrap up with. And then I have 3 questions for you. But there's a whole lot of people out there who reach a point in their life who just go, well, I'm a mom now, I'm a dad now, or whatever, or whatever it was that I wanted to do didn't happen for me. Yeah. What have you guys learned, and what would you tell people out there about still going for those dreams?
Well, I would say that if you push your own person aside, who you were before you became this mother, you're really not doing yourself any favors, and you're certainly not doing any favors for your children. My kids have watched me and Shannon create something from nothing, and I think they're getting a better sense of, well, first of all, they have a happier mom. When I'm doing this with Shannon, I'm a happier mom. You know what I mean? Because I'm not cheating myself out of the experience of enjoying the things that make me happy. And your kids need to see that person that you are, unless you're a meth addict. If you were a meth addict before you were a mom, you should probably quit that and just stick to momming. But yeah, I mean, I think it's like, you need to demonstrate to your kid that if you have a thing that makes you happy, keep doing that thing, despite your life circumstances changing.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people get stuck in the rut when they become a parent, that there's just no time. I don't have time. But the truth is, you do have time. You just have to find the time. And it's not that it's easy, but once you figure out that part of it and you're like, okay, how do I make the time, still have time for my family and my kids and to do the things that I want to do as a mom, but also pursue this career, this passion, whatever it is for you. you just have to look. I would suspect that you could say, I don't have time for anything in your life. Like, I don't have time to go to the grocery. I don't have time to brush my teeth. Of course you do. You just have to figure it out. And then it kind of becomes a routine, and you change the routine as needed based on whatever else is going on in your life, your family's needs, the ages of your kids. But I think people might give up a little too quickly. And I hope that, I think Stacie and I have encouraged people because they see, oh, if these two girls can do it. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but they do.
It's true. We're real people. We have real lives. We're not millionaires. We don't, like we said before, it's just us. We don't have, our husbands are amazing and they help us all the time as much as they can, but they watch us do it and they're like, okay, this is encouraging because I know that this is possible, and let's just figure it out. I just need to sit down and figure out when I'm going to make time for this, and then I'm going to commit to it and do it. And it is going to be challenging and hard, and you are going to be tired, and then you're going to feel like $1 million after you create something that you love.
Yeah.
And like any artist, every song we could always make better. And we do. Sometimes we change the lines the second. I'm telling you, like the minute before we walk onto stage, we're like, oh my God, no, you say that this time. And I'm like, what? Oh, okay, let's go. Yeah. It's always growing. It's always changing. And I just think a lot of times moms or, parents don't give themselves permission to just go with that kind of flow for themselves. And I don't know.
Yeah. I would also add that you really, I think, a good life lesson is you really need to think about obituaries.
God.
Because what a shitty obituary. It's like, oh, this woman graduated from this University of Texas at Austin. She moved to New York City. She did stand-up comedy. Then she became a mom. Period. And she died.
And here's her hologram made of popsicle sticks.
And performing tonight with Stacie's hologram is Shannon Noel.
Her hologram. Yay!
Because we're Thelma and Louising this thing out. I don't give a shit. Shannon and I have a pact. We are going together at the same time in an old classic car, holding hands.
And I'm going to throw that guitar right along with us. Woo!
So we wrap up these shows with 3 questions. Don't worry, you know the answers. They're really easy. The easiest question first is, where can people find you both online, and where can people find Mommy Tonk? Shannon, you start. Where do people find you online?
Well, you can find me online at Shannon Celeste Noel. That's Instagram. Facebook, of course, is just Shannon Noel. And Mommy Tonk, or do I go into that now?
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
And Mommy Tonk is Mommy Tonk, and that's MOMMYTONK. That's at Mommy Tonk. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter, although we don't use it that often. We're on Facebook, and we have a website, of course, mommytonk.com. And we're on YouTube, where we have hundreds of videos from over the past 11 years. And that's also at Mommy Tonk. Oh, and our album.
Stacie.
Sorry, Stacie.
Oh, yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Shannon.
Well,
that's the important stuff.
We have an album that came out a couple of years ago, and it's called Nailed It, because that's what we're doing every single day. We're nailing it.
Hell yeah.
And it's with our assless chaps. So it's Mommy Tonk and the assless chaps, and it's called Nailed It. You can find it on anywhere you listen to music, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. There's links to it on all of our pages, and it's a great album. It is not for children, of course. Song number 14 is the only song.
Unless they're cool.
My kids were yesterday, honestly, on the way to this paintball thing, singing Farm Box and Benadryl, which just kind of came on in my mix. Yeah. And that was a blast.
Because those are full on F-bombs. Okay. Yeah, that's Mommy Tonk.
Stacie, where do we find you?
Okay, so I am at Stacie Burrows on Instagram, Stacie Burrows on Facebook, and I have another project I'm working on called No Good Drunk, and that is it's a departure from the comedy, but it's something I've been writing for a while, and that's on Instagram only at No Good Drunk.
So there's 2 questions
Yes.
I'm going to ask each of you. Again, you can relate this back to anything we've already talked about or anything that comes to you. I'm going to start with you this time, Stacie. Here's the first question. Who inspires you?
Oh, my children. Just kidding. Who inspires me? So the people that, like, when I sit in their audience and I go, are you fucking... what did I just see? So I would say the number one would be Tim Minchin, musical comedy guy. Also wrote a lot of scores for Broadway. He wrote Groundhog Day and Matilda. he's just a phenomenal lyricist and a really great performer. So that would be the person, I guess, most recently that I would be like, yeah, that guy, he's doing it right. But hell, I could talk stand-up comics for hours with you, but I love Lenny Bruce and I love Bill Hicks. And when I listen to their comedy, it resonates with me because they're not just being funny. They're saying something. They have a message. They had an agenda rather. But they made it funny. So yeah, those would be the ones that I would say. And also Shannon Noel inspires me every day. Every day.
Aw. Well, that's
Shannon, who inspires you?
Well, my early inspirations were Weird Al Yankovic and Julie Brown, who sang "'Cause I'm a Blonde" and "The Homecoming Queen Has a Gun" and all of those songs that I just loved when I was a teenager. And I loved Weird Al, still love Weird Al. Love like comedy duos, modern duos like Flight of the Conchords. And I am a huge fan of Dolly Parton. I love her music. I love her spirit. I love her everything. And Stacie, of course.
Oh, what?
Yes, yeah.
God.
I know. Well, we're married,
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I would say, and I love a ton of comedians. I love Jim Gaffigan. I am so into him right now. He just cracks me up and did all through the election. And I love his honesty and his like unapologetic faith, which I also just love the way he speaks about that so openly. And yeah, there's so many people.
I love that Shannon's inspiration is a Christian comic and my inspiration is an atheist called Tim Minchin. I think that's funny. This is good balance. We're good balance.
Good for each other.
This is the final question for each of you. I'll start with you, Shannon. It can be anything you want. Tell me something easy. Tell me something good.
Tell you something good. Gosh.
Oh God.
Okay.
That's the
I'll
hardest.
tell you, here's some, there's so many good things. Right. What I have recognized that is good during this time in our lives, which is there's a pandemic. We are quarantined mostly at home. Our children have not been to school. And I have really been able to learn a lot about myself and my husband and my children by just being here and realizing the people pleaser in me, although I'm still a performer and we're still doing this, but the people pleaser in me has learned that, I don't necessarily have to do that. Is this making sense? Like, this has been such a good time for inner reflection and coming to terms with who I really am and feeling so confident about the things that I have accomplished and that Stacie and I have accomplished and that my family has accomplished, and that time together. Although, yes, crazy and all the other things that go with it. The good in it has been beautiful for us to have this time together, this closeness and this kind of quiet, where also I don't have to arrange a million play dates. That's good.
Yes. Oh my God.
Stacie?
Okay.
Tell me something good.
Something good. So I'm always looking for, I'm really drawn to music. It's like if there's something, a good song or like something that just strikes me, that just makes me stop in my tracks. And yesterday I stumbled upon something that made me stop in my tracks, and it made me so happy that I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to tell people about this. And it's Jean Baptiste. Actually, it's John Baptiste. He is the piano player from Colbert's show. Okay. He has a song called I Need You, and there's a music video out. I think it's maybe a new album that he's doing. Oh my God, it made me stop in my tracks and go, oh, there is still loveliness in the world and fun and joy. And yeah, so I would say music, man. Music is the thing that is music is probably the only thing that can pull me out of a funk. And thankfully, there are lots of great musicians who continue to write music despite the fact that it's a pandemic. And also my favorite, and Shannon and I love this band so much. They're called Shovels and Rope, and they are our favorite. And anytime we hear their music, it just, you feel it in your bones. So music.
Can I add one thing to this for Stacie and me?
No, I'm editing it out.
This is Stacie. I was thinking about this yesterday because I don't even remember what song came on the radio, but it made me go back to a time when Stacie and I found out about this group called, I think it's it's
Oh.
choir, maybe it's
Choir.
choir. And I don't know if you've ever heard of choir, but it's these two guys, and I'm not going to remember their names. They are amazing. And in the normal times of life, they're traveling around the country putting on these shows called choir. You go to this show with a bunch of other people that know exactly what they're getting into, and they teach you a song. So it's a theme night. When the night that Stacie and I went, it was 80s night. So they teach the audience a song from the 80s, and they do it with comedy, and they're just amazing speakers. They split the room in half, and one half is singing one harmony, the other half is singing the other harmony, or even a set of lyrics that's in the song. And by the end of the I guess you do 2 or 3 songs in the whole night. So by the end of like 20 minutes, you have learned this song and everyone sings it together, and the lyrics are behind them on a huge screen, and you get chills. And
it's like karaoke and choir practice with a large group of strangers. And everyone
amazing.
We did that right before the world shut down.
Yep.
And we were both tired, and we were like, do we really want to go? I don't know. I have tickets. Let's do it. But they did one with Rufus Wainwright. Oh my God. Singing Hallelujah. Oh, Jesus, forget about it.
It is so good.
You know what else is so good? You too. Take us out, ladies.
I've got a mom crush. Hate to admit it, but that bitch ain't got thrush like my baby does. She got her nails done, just got her hair did. She shops at Nordstrom, not talking the rag. Let's break it down. I've got a mom crush. Hate to admit it, but that bitch ain't got thrush like my baby does.
Thank you, Stacie and Shannon, for proving moms everywhere right. You can grow up to be anything and anyone you want to be. You just have to be brave enough to go for it. Check out Mommy Tonk online, and oh yeah, happy Mother's Day. Next time on World Gone Good.
And you don't step outside of your daily routine, and it becomes like it's a who am I a robot or am I actually like a person?
Chia Davis has traveled the world, reported the news, marketed a rap star, and then she became a mom and launched her blog Momified for all the other moms out there needing a dose of good from someone who has not only been there, but is there as we speak. From mindfulness to meditation to the best free, you heard me, free, I said free, Mother's Day gift you can give. Our Mother's Day celebration continues with the oh so good Chia. And that episode is now playing because it's A-May-Zing month of May. See what I did? A-May-Zing month of May. And you get 2 episodes every Wednesday. You are welcome. Give a listen. And until then, be good.